Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. Today's episode brought to you by Nütrl Vodka Seltzer, made with vodka, seltzer, and real juice. It's Nütrl, the one with the umlaut. It's Friday, March 3rd, 2023. This is The Drop. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, Tass Mellis.
Podcast listeners, this is for you.
Next to Tass, it's the bearded one, Matasha Hot Boy, Trey Kirby.
Heyo.
Heyo. And last but not least, over yonder, making the magic happen, super producer JD.
Hello.
There he is. Here we are. Shout out to the stream team joining us live right now on YouTube. Take a second, like the vid, make sure you subscribe, comment away, get your No Dunks merch over at nodunks.com. Hoodies, t-shirts, mugs, everything you want with a No Dunks logo on it is available at nodunks.com. Check out yesterday's No Buffs podcast. We need to make some No Buffs merch, if we're being honest. We recapped episode 1 of Survivor 44. Yes, I know what some of you are thinking. That show's still on? Yeah, it is, and it's great. And we recap it every week over at No Buffs. It has its own YouTube feed, its own podcast feed. Just search for that. And leave your boys a 5-star rating and review if you're a fan of the No Buffs podcast.
Danielle said during episode 1, how many of these do they make a year? Like how many seasons? And I said, 2.
2, yep.
She said, well, seems like way more.
She's not wrong.
It's true.
But we had a banger of a first episode recap. Did you watch the episode?
Oh, yeah.
There you look. This guy is a full-blown Survivor fan now. You liked it?
For sure.
Okay, good.
Hard hitting.
Well, yeah. I mean,
yeah, physical one.
People were dropping like flies. On today's podcast,
hold on, Skeets. A lot of people have been asking me. Formula One returns this weekend as well.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my hat.
Yep.
Getting a lot of tweets. Where's no breaks? No breaks this year.
Oh.
No regular no breaks this year. We may hop in the studio for a one-off here and there.
Okay.
With Graydon, but he's busy. I'm busy.
There's a lot of races.
We're not doing it. Yeah. We're not doing it, but thank you for the support, and surely we'll talk about it together at some point. Well, I mean, the Spurs are on a win streak now, so maybe the time is now to get Graydon in.
Well, I like this idea that we could like slip in some Formula One talk during any of these shows.
Yes.
Like maybe come Monday. Might be a winner of the weekend for all we know.
Oh, Fernando Alonso, potential winner of the weekend. We shall see.
Okay, so yeah, Survivor podcast, still a go. F1 podcast, no. Baseball?
March 15th, we're back. Baby.
Oh,
Wow.
No Bunts is back. All right. Hey, 2 for 3. That's a great hitting percentage in baseball.
That's right. That ain't bad.
Hitting percentage, as they call it.
Yes. Yes, I love the baseballs.
You'll be on the first episode, Skeets.
Oh, I always am.
Actually, you've been put to the bench this year. Don't worry about it.
A utility infielder, perhaps.
You want to bring me in? I should be a pinch runner for sure.
All right, sure.
Somebody gets on base, big slow guy, put me on there. All right, on today's Drop podcast, we are going to look at the NBA award frontrunners with less than a quarter of the regular season remaining. Tass, you've got some worst of the week nominees.
Yes.
We'll end with some rapid fire fun. But first, 4 games on last night. We can quickly make our way through these, but we had to talk a little bit about Luka and Kyrie becoming the 22nd pair of teammates in NBA history to score 40 points each in a game. Luka with 42 in the Mavs' 133-126 win over the Sixers. Kyrie chipping in 40. 82 points from the Mavs, and this was a weird game in terms of, you want to talk about runs in a game of basketball. Holy moly. Mavericks on fire at the third quarter. A 17-0 run from the Sixers. It was suddenly a 4-point game. But in the end, Luka and Kyrie get it done for Dallas here, and they get a much-needed win. What do you thought?
That's how they're going to win, right? Is a lot of O and some lackadaisical D. They just will give you points in the paint. That's yours. You do your thing down there. They lost that 60-34. They just got to hope to keep, the other categories close, like the fast break points, which I think got helped by Josh Green in there turning some people over. And then bomb away and go on a run. And it had some feelings to me like their run to the conference finals last year with Luka. Just like, let's light it up for a few minutes. That's what they did at the beginning of the third quarter. You mentioned the runs, a 20-4 run in the first minute 40. Like, it was so fast at the beginning of the third quarter. And everybody, Luka and Kyrie, obviously, bombs away. 13 of 21 from deep combined. It's a lot of threes. Yeah. And then the other guys, Bullock hit 5 threes. Yeah. Kleba comes in, Hardaway comes in, and they just hit so many. And that's how they're going to win. That's literally the formula.
Season high 25 threes on 48 attempts, 52% from deep, and that is how Dallas plays, and that is how they ultimately held on to get this victory. Though, again, it was, the butt cheeks must have been getting tight there in Dallas when Philly ran off that huge run, and it was a 4-point game. It was like, oh, no, not again. We just blew a 27-point lead to the Lakers. We might blow, a huge lead that we had on the Sixers last night, but I think Luka hit a three, then Kyrie hit a three, and sort of gave them some breathing room there again.
That was just like the fastest run of all time
that
the Sixers had at the beginning of the fourth quarter. My kids woke up. I let them watch the third. I was like, what a great dad I am. Just got to see the end of the game here. Mavs are killing it. Ain't no way this turns around.
You were real My Buddy Grinch, were you?
Definitely put him to bed. I came back downstairs. I was like, what? This is a 4-point game? It went like that. Couple of brutal Harden turnovers, though, in the fourth quarter. Like, he threw a pass backwards over his head, easily picked off by Luka. I think Kyrie got one as well, but that's why the Mavs are going to stay on people's list as a dark horse title contender, because you see them get this hot. You see 40-point games from Luka and Kyrie. Both of them looked unstoppable. It looked like they had the most chemistry that they've had in any of the games they've played together so far. They can look unbeatable and unguardable in any single game. When they're making 25 threes like this, when they're getting contributions from their role player shooters, they look unbeatable. But 7 times, not necessarily reliable, but you see a game like that and you're like, okay, if things break perfectly and the Mavs have a hot shooting month, they could be tough in the playoffs.
Just 4 of 7. That's all you're asking for. 4 of 7 just to outshoot
4 of 7
teams.
4 times.
Yeah, multiple times
problem,
for sure. I think the little difference was the chemistry, as you said. There's a lot more action with Luka on the ball. Here comes Kyrie to just mess up the defense. Kyrie would come over, set a pick, slip a pick, so then you just had to pick your poison. And same, with Luka. They were just a lot closer together where you had to pick your poison. So Jason Kidd's mixing it up there for sure. I think that was happening. And Kyrie, my God, that was just a show. Look, that was the Kyrie show. The quickness, the explosiveness, wearing the sunglasses after the game because he felt so good in the post-game press conference. You don't usually see Kyrie with sunglasses, I don't think. But anyway, yeah, that was a show, man.
How about Jalen McDaniels picking up 3 fouls in 14 seconds? 4 fouls in basically a minute. That's rare.
Yeah. He helped, though.
He did. Absolutely. I mean, the defensive intensity is there. Sometimes gets you in trouble. I don't think all of those were like warranted fouls, but that's something else. 3 in 14 seconds.
That was impressive. He ended up a plus 15 though, so I'm with you. It was kind of like in high school, like your team is getting crushed on the glass, so coach is like, put in the middle linebacker. Just go in there and mess some stuff up. And that's what Jalen McDaniels was doing. He was just running around like crazy, and it kind of spurred on the run by the 76ers. So I thought a nice run from him, but a very weird start.
Yeah, weird game overall. Let's move on to the second game on TNT. Jordan Poole scoring 34 as the Warriors charged back again, and they beat the Clippers. A tale of two halves here, Tass, where Clippers in control for the first half, and the Warriors come out guns blazing there in the second and just destroyed them in the third quarter. What was it, 42-16? Jordan Poole single-handedly outscored the Clippers in that third quarter, 22-16. Just
22 points for Jordan Poole, 20 for the rest of the Warriors, and only 16 for the Clippers in the third quarter.
Jesus Murphy. I hate this Clippers team so much. I hate it. I hate them.
I hate them.
I do. I have
Go on.
No, that's it. I mean, I've been saying it honestly since the start of the season. I wasn't as convinced. I didn't have as much, faith in them as a team to go deep. Oh, yeah, they got the pieces. Oh, yeah, and all that. It's like, whenever they do string together some wins, this happens, and they just are just a mess. And I also don't like. I don't know, Tyler, with this Westbrook thing, like, of course, Westbrook comes in, they can't win. I said that was going to happen as well, unfortunately. It's all his fault. But it does suck. Westbrook with a big is tough. That's 2 shooters. I mean, if he's playing with the plum dog, he ain't stretching the floor. Neither is Zubats. And Russ is not a great shooter. So there's, like, some limitations there with that. I think Lou has to go to man. He has to, with these losses sort of piling up here for them. And their offense has been brutal. After that one game where it was like 176, 175 against the Kings. It's been very bad since then. And it's not just Russ, but I think the lineups, they're not doing them any favors.
It's easy to put it on Russ. That's the first thing people are going to talk about for sure. there's a lot of layers here. They bring in a new bench as well, and now the bench has become starters because they have injuries. They had 2 guys in the starting lineup that shouldn't be there because of injuries. I think what's also changed, regardless of scheme and Draymond Green standing by the rim while Russell Westbrook has the ball 20 feet out, it's just their disposition, the way they come out and play defense. I think in the third quarter when Poole started running down their throats, it was just a different lineup. I mean, they've switched like 4 things, I think is what it comes down to. And Terrence Mann was the energy at the point guard spot. They just had a nice little chemistry. And now they've changed that. And Westbrook sometimes ball watches and they just don't know how to stop runs. I mean, they were up in this game.
Which is insane because I'm always told they have like 2 of the best perimeter defenders in the league.
Yeah, but they're slower.
Should be a
2
team.
halves of this season for the Clippers. They don't play defense anymore.
That's the thing. Yeah, they were great defensively. Pre-Westbrook, they've slowed down the last few weeks, but that's where it's coming from now. I mean, they have the layers are the problems or offensively. What's happening with Westbrook? Now we got these new bench guys coming in. They've got a lot of things to figure out, a lot, and then the defense is really what lost them this game. So you can talk about Westbrook and all that, but really they just stopped working. And Poole was obviously awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, he was spectacular. What was more impressive was the free throws, him getting to the rim. He had 8 free throws in that third quarter. Like we know what the way he can shoot. And I mean, it looks strange even still, the way he sidesteps and it looks like he's traveling, but he's not traveling. It's like a 6-foot sidestep and he hits those shots. But the Warriors, the Clippers just don't fight the same way. They just don't know who they are. I think Mann was a big part of that. We just talked about Jalen McDaniels. I think it's just the same sort of thing. Like they're not a scrappy bunch anymore, and that's the problem.
Westbrook cannot play with another big guy. He has to play with only 4 shooters. They weren't guarding him last night, and you're right. There's other things wrong with the Clippers, but this to me was the epitome of a Westbrook loss. They weren't guarding him. Draymond was just standing in the middle of the lane. The Clippers turned the ball over 16 times, never got back on defense. 29 points off the turnovers for Golden State. Russ went 3 for 12. The Clippers made 9 threes last night. Like, these are all of the problems with Westbrook. Everybody said you can't play him with another shooter. The only thing that works playing him right now is 4 other shooters around him. It worked for the Rockets, right? Like, that was the last real run of success that Westbrook had, was when they traded all of their big guys so that they could play 5 out, with him basically being the big guy. When the shooting is bad, the turnovers come for Westbrook as well. He had 4 turnovers last night, just 6 assists. It's just not going to work if he's the starter, if they have real championship aspirations. As for Jordan Poole, this guy takes the boldest heat checks of anybody in the league. He finished 9 for 20 last night. He takes heat checks for other players, I think. Third quarter, Warriors are coming back. They've allowed 1 basket in 4 minutes. Klay Thompson ties the game, 66-66, off a 3-pointer, a Draymond assist. The ball is moving like crazy. Next time down, Poole pulls a 28-footer.
Hell yeah.
Nothing.
Oh.
No, like it didn't hit anything.
Damn.
Yeah, and that's just how it is for Poole. It's like, I don't know if he's ever actually made 2 shots in a row, but he always wants to make 2 shots in a row. He takes atrocious shots, but he was getting to the line last night, so it's all good.
Hit 5 threes, and this is a big win for the Warriors. That's their 4th in a row. They're 33-30 now. I think it's the first time all season, I want to say, that they've been 3 games above 500. They're in the 5th seed. They're a game back of the Suns. They're half a game up on the Mavericks. And, I was questioning them a couple weeks ago, or maybe even just 2 weeks ago, or whatever it was. It was like, I know they're the defending champs. I know once Curry comes back, that's one of the best players of all time. They're going to be a tough out. But, man, they've proven that they're not a good road team. Are they going to be able to go on the road in all of these series and win, and try and get back to the finals? I didn't think that was possible. So this is really helping their chances. They might even have home court advantage in a first round series. Like, it's obviously still in play here. Could catch the Suns. Kings have a tough schedule. We'll see. But wow, stringing these together without Curry, without Wiggins, it's impressive. And they've been weird games because they're getting their asses handed to them in the first half, and then they just come out and come right back just like that.
They're getting better without Curry. They know how to turn it on in the last part of the season. I mean, they're getting tougher.
They do.
They're getting just more tough-minded. Klay Thompson with a career high in boards in this game, 11 rebounds, doing the Wiggins thing, which they've missed. Wiggins played larger than his size in the playoffs last year. Klay's doing it right now with Wiggins missing 6 games due to personal reasons. Curry should be back this Sunday, so things are jiving there for the Warriors. Yeah, for sure.
It's just funny to me that like we could have a team in the Warriors that are going to be in the playoffs that could have 9, maybe 10 road wins, and people will still be like, they're the favorites to come out of the West. And you may not be wrong. It's just crazy. Like, you don't see that a team that bad, that have played that poorly on the road, to then be a favorite in a lot of series, especially if they are on the road in these and starting, games 1 and 2 in somebody else's barn. And they could still go all the way. I mean, especially with Curry in the mix. So
yeah, I'm not too worried about it. Yeah. If I'm the Warriors, isn't the stat that they've won a road playoff game in every series that they've been in? And then you look at the road records for the top 6 in the Western Conference. The Nuggets are 16-15. Memphis 12-18, Sacramento the best,
amazing.
18-13, and then it's all under 500 teams. Yeah. Every team stinks on the road in the Western Conference, and we've seen the Warriors win a lot of road games in the playoffs. So they're gonna want the 4 seed, but if they end up in 5, I think they'll be fine.
Okay. This game sucks for Raptors fans. Kuzma scored 30, and the Wizards beat the Raps to edge closer in the Eastern Conference. They're basically in a virtual tie now for that 9th, 10th spot in the play-in. This is the first of 3 games here in March, Tass, between the Raps
all right.
and the Wizards. Yeah, I joked on Twitter last night. Don't worry, Raps fans. We always lose game 1. Because we got the Wizards on Saturday here, and then they play them again later in March. But these are big, big games, and this is a brutal loss. I thought they played like garbage, too. I think like 2 Raptors players played well in this. Pirtle, OG, maybe Boucher a little bit off the bench. Everybody else was bad.
This was a blowout. It was a fake blowout, essentially.
They did.
Yeah,
they got their asses.
That was a bad night. So you hate the Clippers? You hate this Raptors team too?
No, I don't hate them. I'm very frustrated with them, but this was the Wizards are like the Raptors, unfortunately. Like, look good some nights, you get excited for a little bit, and then they let you down in a hurry because they're not consistent.
Exactly.
But they played well last night.
Can't wait till game 2 of this series. You're right. Throw away game 1. It's fine. Come back in game 2. You're right. They're consistent. Consistency is the problem.
Any thoughts on Kuz going for 30? The way the Raptors always with stars load up on the star player and Beal in this case and move the ball and you're going to get shots, and that's what they did.
Isn't that what Joel Embiid said earlier this season? They care more about taking your star out of the game than actually winning the game. So minor victory for the Raptors. Bradley Beal did not lead the team in scoring. Unfortunately, Kuzma went for 30 and Porzingis went for 25. I just wish a team would beat the Wizards. It ain't that hard. The Bulls did it, but man, Hawks just lost to them. Raptors just lost to him. A little help here.
Yeah, well, we'll see on Saturday. Suddenly, all these games for the Raps and the Wizards and the Bulls and the Hawks, like, these are big games here, especially when they play each other, because you can drop a game or go up a game right there in one night. But, yeah, they play once again on Saturday, also in Washington. It's one of those stay there and play them. What will the Raps get up to in D.C.? Some museums. Aren't the museums free?
There's a lot of museums.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
No, good. And we also had the Spurs win again. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that. It's a win streak.
Back-to-back Jacks.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Jeremy Sohan was a good game.
A guy named Mitch got a win, huh? Wasn't that his name? Mitch Johnson was the substitute coach. I didn't write it down, but I think it was a guy named Mitch.
Yes, you confused me for a second. I'm like, what player named
Greg
Mitch
was
played?
gone, but Mitch was there.
Okay, yeah.
Also sounds like a baseball name, too.
Yes.
All right, let's talk some NBA awards. The front runners, I thought it'd be fun if we divvied these up. So, like, you take 2 of them, you take 2 of them, I'll take 2 of them. Give your top 5 when it comes to MVP, maybe your top 3 for all the other ones. And then we will hear from said no donkey, and then we'll debate it. We'll say, yep, exactly my ballot, or what? You're missing so-and-so. And what about this guy? I'm sure we'll come up here. But let's start with most valuable player. We gave the big one to Trey. So I don't know if you followed the rules and went top 5 ballot here for this one. And then we'll do top 3 for all the other ones. So what do you got right now with a quarter of the season to go? I assume it's still up in the air for you. Like, this is not a done deal.
It's up in the air.
Okay.
Yeah. And I came in, I'll be quite honest, I came in not wanting to give it to Nikola Jokic. Just because it feels like it's wrapped up for him, I'm looking for reasons to give it to anybody else. So stay tuned. My other part on this, Skeets, is that this is really 2 ballots. Because you got a top 3, and then you really got a 4 and 5.
Yeah, it's fine.
Like, there's 3 real candidates for the number 1 spot in Jokic, Giannis, and Embiid. My 4 and 5, though, I'll start there.
Okay.
I got Jason Tatum over Luka Doncic.
Okay.
Tatum in 4th. He's averaging 30 a game. He's 6th in the league in scoring, an all-around player on the best team in the league for a large majority of the season. Celtics just got past. As for Doncic, he's got superior numbers to basically everybody else in the league. He's leading the league in scoring, but a little underwhelming in the clutch, I would say, this year. Shooting 47%, which is fine. Mavs are just 18 and 14. They play so many close games, so they have a lot of clutch opportunities. But, I mean, take your pick. You could go Donk over Tatum if you wanted. Personally, I got Tatum at 4, Doncic at 5.
Okay. I think most people would have that, actually. All right. Now to the big fellas.
All the best players in the league are centers. That's pretty crazy. I mean, you could argue.
Yeah.
You could argue with Giannis, but
Yeah.
nonetheless, they're all big guys.
Sure.
They're all big guys. So I will give you my biggest knock on all three of them, followed by my biggest pro.
Okay.
For all three of them.
Biggest big guy knock.
Big knock.
Here we go.
Here's my big knockers here. My biggest knock on Nikola Jokic, he's a 0 on defense.
Strong.
Not a negative. Not a negative.
Okay,
Right,
0
right.
means
Not a negative.
Okay,
Zero
But he
means
is not
average.
a positive
Sure.
in the way that Giannis is and the way that Embiid are, where they can take over a game defensively. Respect to Jokic for being a good defender,
Yep.
for getting his hand on a lot of balls. He steals quite often. He's pretty quick. He obviously is a smart player, so he knows where to be. The defense, I don't think, falls apart because of him in the regular season, at least. So I think he's a good defender. Not great, not bad.
Right.
0. It sounds like an insult, but it's actually okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Giannis. The thing I can't shake with Giannis is that the offense for the Bucks was really bad when he was the number one guy out there. When Middleton was out of the lineup, when Giroux was in and out of the lineup, they were a bottom 10 offense, and he was having the highest usage percentage of his career. So that to me says you can't totally elevate the offense the way a Jokic or an Embiid does.
Okay.
My biggest knock on Embiid, disjointed start to the season for the Sixers. He came in banged up with plantar fasciitis. There was a bunch of new pieces in the lineup for the Sixers. It took them a little bit to kind of figure out how they're going to all be playing together. Started 12-12. Since then, awesome, except for some recent high-profile losses, which I think would have really helped. Also, on my ballot, Embiid is 2-5 against other MVP candidates.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. The good stuff.
Okay.
Joel Embiid, second in scoring in the league, and maybe has played the 3 best games I've seen this year. 59, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, 7 blocks against the Jazz. He had the 47-18-5, 3 steals and 2 blocks against Denver. 41, 12, 5, and 3 against Boston. Also hit a 3-quarter court shot, just a smidge too late. So maybe he can get to single game dominance the most when he's completely locked in, when the jumper is flowing, when he's drawing calls and going to the line.
Yeah.
Embiid has played some incredible games this season. Giannis is the best case for Giannis is he's the best player in the league.
It's a good case.
The guy's the best player in the league. He's dominating right now. Full strength Bucks team. We are in the doldrums of the season when giving a full effort every single night is going to be advantageous. And you know Giannis is bringing it every single night. Jokic, when he's Jokic, the Nuggets always win. 24-0 in games he has triple doubles. And Denver hasn't had a bad month yet. That's what I keep coming back to.
Ooh.
Bucks had a month where they were about 500. Sixers obviously had their slow start to the season. But Denver has just been winning all year long. They're the best team in their Western Conference. Jokic is a little bit of an efficiency merchant here. It feels like he won't take a bad shot because he doesn't want to miss it, but then he hits 63% of his shots. Scores every time he shoots the ball. The problem is he won the MVP last year. That's my only knock on Nikola Jokic. He won MVP last year when it should have gone to somebody else. Then we wouldn't even be talking about 3 straight. So my official ballot, Jokic, Giannis, Embiid.
Mine's
says you?
Yeah, mine's the same. Mine's definitely the same.
You have Giannis second over Embiid.
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
The reason why I think, Giannis could sneak in with voters is because obviously Jokic has won 2 in a row. That's a part of it. Second part, who are you going to take in a playoff series? The guy who's won a championship. So I think some will gravitate to Giannis. He's just the best player. That still most people call him the best player because of what he's done in the playoffs. I think if it was a tighter race, if Embiid's team was better and was a lot closer to the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, then you'd have some debates between Jokic and Embiid, and that's where Giannis would sneak in as sort of the default guy. But right now I think Jokic is going to be the guy. Even if he doesn't dominate. You said 24-0 when he
gets a
has a triple-double. So I guess they're 20-19 when he doesn't have a triple-double. Just be better, man. Just be better, and your team will win. It is crazy to see the usage rate. Like, if you want to make the narrative for Giannis, it's Middleton's played barely at all this season, 20 games or so, and he hasn't been himself whatsoever. While Jokic has had Murray the entire season, even if he wasn't 100%. Porter has been there most of the season as well, played like 46 games. So you can play like the card where
you're basically playing the card that helped Jokic win it last year.
Yeah,
when
the narrative.
He didn't have his guys. Yeah. Sorry.
And the usage rate, as you said, 39% for Giannis. That's a crazy number. It's the highest in the NBA right now, and they have come back since he's got his guys back to like being a mediocre offense. That's what they are. They're mediocre. He's a better defender. I don't know if it's going to happen though for Giannis, just because Jokic is by far and away the 1 seed in the West. They're running away with it, and their records are so similar to the top teams in the Eastern Conference, in the Bucks and the Celtics. It's not far off. I thought their record would be at least 5 games worse or something like that, and even if they won the West, but it's just so damn close. I think Jokic is going to get it, and that's fine. That's fine. You're hearing the arguments right now, like, oh, he hasn't won, as in the playoffs. He hasn't won in the playoffs. But, it is a regular season award. So it all comes down to, how do you think about this damn award? And he has been the best player in the regular season, even if he hasn't won a championship like Giannis Antetokounmpo. And that weird fact is going to get Giannis some votes.
Yeah. Do you think it will matter who has the best record in the NBA? Be it the Bucks. Really, I guess in this instance, if we don't think the Sixers could catch them, and you're saying it's Jokic, Giannis 1-2 in your mind anyway, or on your ballot, will that matter? Like if and maybe somebody goes, or the Bucks continue to stay on a hot run and finish with 4 more wins than the other team in the other conference?
I don't think so.
No.
It has to be a big gap.
So
I think we only look at the one conference. If you're the 1 seed in that conference, that's good. We don't have the capacity to look at divisions anymore. We don't have the capacity to look at both conferences at the same time, unless it's like a huge gap. If you're the 1 seed, I think that's enough.
Well, it feels like it's going to be neither of these teams or any of these guys, MVP guys on these teams, are going to they're not going to be on a 60-win team. I mean, I guess it could be, but I don't think it's going to be. It's going to be probably in that 55, 57 win area. A lot of wins, but not like that upper echelon.
Nice
65 is the type of number you're like, whoa, that's an all-time team there in the regular season. Even 60, very, very good. So yeah, I'm with you. I think it's sort of all that will not be like, you won't be able to go, well, they won 2 more games and then so and so. It's like, really? They're both really good teams because their guys lead them to that. But I agree. I have it Jokic and beat Giannis. I have Tatum 4th and then Luka 5th. But I'm going to have no issues with any of these guys winning it. And it's sort of fun that it's a little bit up in the air still. I think a monster 15 games from one of these guys could catapult them above the other 2. I don't think that's that far-fetched. In terms of their team success, or just like a heater, a 40-20 average heater here over the last little bit. Let's hear from you guys.
And it's nice to have Joel Embiid in the 2nd seed, just so he can come in second in voting every single season.
God, yeah.
2 straight seasons in the 2nd spot. So he could do it again.
He could indeed.
And he'd hate it.
Let's talk most improved. Tass, you've got this one.
Yeah.
What's your ballot? We'll do, from here on out, just 1 through 3.
Well, the winner of this award either has a huge increase in raw numbers or rewrites the narrative of the reputation he's had in the league. And my number 1 guy has done both. Lauri Markkanen has done both of those, and that's why I think he's a lock to win this thing. He scored 10 more points than he did last year per game, so he's up to 25 points per game. Raw numbers are nice. Way more efficient, too, which is strange. 51 from the field, 41 from 3 on 7.5 attempts. Very nice. And he's facing up in the post. He hits those threes. The dunks we've talked about. We made a short for Lauri Markkanen dunks because he's thrown down so many, not just good dunks, not just quantity, but very, very video worthy, just second look worthy. Let's watch him again.
Quantity and quality.
Yeah, just they're nice. He's an all-star. He's now the most notable Lowry in the league. I say that because I'm just trying to keep up my streak of mentioning Kyle Lowry in each and every show, and I'm doing it. Anyway, second, Jalen Brunson. He's up to 23.8 points per game after scoring 16.3 last year. He's lived up to the contract. He should have been an all-star. And I mentioned the All-Star thing because I like going with guys that have gone from good to great. And Jalen Brunson is in that category instead of guys going fine to good. Sure. Replacement level player or average player to good. So Jalen Brunson's taken that step. And as I said, Lauri Markkanen rewrote his narrative as sort of a guy kind of on the peripheral of the league, kind of like a replacement player level player. Jalen Brunson's contract was questioned when he moved from Dallas to New York, and he's destroyed that. I mean, he's ripped up that narrative. Third, this is an interesting one, but also a good to great for me. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Ooh, that's a great to greater.
Great to greater? Okay. Yeah, he's up 6.5 points per game from last season. So he was great last year at around 24.5. He's up to 31, 5.7 assists, 4.7 rebounds. Again, like Lauri Markkanen. More efficient, even though he's got a bigger role with the OKC Thunder. He's just smarter as well, taking fewer threes. He's a very rare guard superstar in this league where he doesn't take threes. And I will say right here, right now, in this spot where he's missed some time, it kind of hurts his chances of winning the whole thing.
Yeah, it does.
Of winning this award. And he had a shot, though, as the great to greater. Is that what he said?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Sure. He's
it's similar to John Morant winning last year, right? We knew John Morant was good, really good player, and then he went to another level. Mm-hmm. And I think you've even labeled this award at times like almost like not MVP runner-up, but like MVP light.
Yeah.
It's like you're not on the top
Baby
5 ballot,
MVP.
baby MVP.
Yep.
And that's sort of what Ja got last year, and that's, I think, the case for a guy like SGA this year in winning Most Improved.
He'll get some
But
MVP votes.
I'm also with you, him being out,
Maybe.
injured, health and safety, the team losing now, falling out of the play-in, not great. Like if he had just continued the run that he had been playing at that unbelievable all-star level, then I think it is his, but maybe, I don't know. I don't know when he's back. I don't know how many games he's going to play down the stretch here. And then maybe it goes to one of those other guys like Lauri Markkanen or Jalen Brunson, who are very, very deserving, I think, too.
Baby MVP is fun. Yeah, John Morant was 7th in MVP voting last year.
Right.
Shai will be in that ballpark as well.
Yeah, he might get some top 10 votes. Yeah, he'll get a handful. Somebody will throw him on a ballot.
Yeah, the ballots are top 5, right?
Yeah.
You just vote for 5 people.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
12 people had votes last year.
Right.
So, yeah, he'll sneak some in. You want to hear some, what about this guy, Most Improved? Or you guys want to talk about
Yeah, who was at the top of your from fine to good? Did you have any? Like
The fine
that
bitters.
type of old school Most Improved player?
I didn't really.
No, okay.
I mean,
it's done. It's done doing it that way, is it? Sort of is.
because you just have too many goods to really, really good.
Okay.
Like the improvement from a fine to good, it's basically equivalent to some of these. So like these, because they're going to great, are just a little bit more impressive. Like what do we got? We got a Maxey was all right. Halliburton,
Miles Turner,
could be
I
in
think,
there.
Could be in the mix.
MT, that's a good one.
I was gonna Kuzma's
Kuzma's an
like
interesting one.
He's right in
Kuzma.
between those two levels, I would say. Right?
Yeah.
Better than fine to almost great.
who
That's right.
the Julius Randle story is a little like that. Like good, kind of plummeted, came back, was awesome. Now he's plummeted again last year, kind of came back. Like Kuzma was a 20-point per game scorer, not efficiently way back in the day.
He never hit the 20-point per game mark. No, he tapped out at 18.7 in his second season. Had 17 last year, and he's averaging 21.5 points per game this year.
He was playing before his time. Was it 18.7?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he would have definitely in today's game had 20 points per game. But
Yeah, no.
Anyway, who else you got?
I guess I'm thinking of the Clarkson. He never got 20 either. That's it. No, that's it. Halliburton was thrown in there. He was probably a candidate earlier in the season. Fell off a little bit. Maxey going to the bench hurt him, although he would have been in that category. He has improved. Doc started him last night. What up with that? Interesting stuff there. Doc experimenting. That's all I got. Those are mine.
What about you, TK, on MIP? Did you agree with Lauri Markkanen 1?
Yes.
Okay.
I think Markkanen deserves it over any other candidate. Though, I mean, I love seeing Jalen Brunson on the list. Shai, I think, is a worthy inclusion as well. But Markkanen increased his points per game by 11 points per game. It looks like a completely different player.
Yeah.
It's like the flashes that you saw in Chicago and Cleveland are now the whole game for him because Will Hardy and the Jazz basically flipped the floor, took everybody out of the middle, and now Lowry just runs wild on the inside. I think he is the clear choice this year.
All right. Let's do Defensive Player of the Year. I took this one. Nobody else wanted it. In fact, you demanded not to have it. I was amazed by that. Was that because...
You don't like the Clippers? I don't like this award.
You don't like defense?
Nah, I love defense. It's an important part of the game. I just like... I think it should go to the team defense. That's what it comes down to. It's fun giving it to an individual, but this is a team award.
Well, I think there's only 3 guys that are going to win this, have any chance of winning it. And I actually struggled to put them in order because I think you can make a legit case for all 3. But I have it 1, 2, 3 right now. Jaren Jackson Jr., Bam Adebayo, Brook Lopez. I think it's those 3 guys that are winning this, and deservedly so. Nikias Duncan had a great stat about Jaren Jackson Jr. and the numbers he's putting up of protecting the rim and how wild it is. Among 50-plus players defending at least 4 shots at the rim per game, Jaren Jackson Jr. holds the offensive player to just 43.5% shooting, which is by far the lowest percentage in the league. 43.5. This is NBA players shooting at the rim. That is an insane stat. In fact, Draymond Green's the only other player to hold anyone under 50%. Brook Lopez coming in 5th overall, but it's over 50. So that just shows Jaren Jackson Jr. He's just a menace in there. He's averaging 3.3 blocks per game. That's best in the league. He only plays 27 minutes per game. He ranks 1st in defensive rating, 12th in defensive win shares, a part of that because he missed a bunch of time. But the Grizzlies tasks, they have the number 1 defense, which I think helps Jaren Jackson Jr.'s case. Now, the one reason you could go, well, what about Bam over Jaren Jackson Jr. is he's played 800 more minutes.
Bam has.
Bam.
Yeah.
Jaren Jackson Jr. missed time, and then when he plays, he still can be a little foul prone and doesn't play as many minutes in games as someone like Bam. So that's a lot of minutes. Like that's pretty significant. And Bam to me, when I watch games, is when I go, oh, he's actually Defensive Player of the Year. Like to me, he's like a souped up OG Anunoby. And just the impact he can have on shutting guys down, and it's just like he can take guys completely out of games. But I do think Jaren Jackson Jr., at the 3-quarter mark here, 3.3 blocks per game is a hell of a lot of blocks in just 27 minutes per game. And they're the number 1 defense. And when he came back, he impacted them and got them back up into that number 1 spot. So,
I think you're alluding to with Bam there. I think he's always overlooked in this department. He's had a tougher job, I think, than Jaren Jackson Jr. because Jaren Jackson Jr. quite often plays with Steven Adams.
Yeah.
And I think that's why he's probably played fewer minutes. He can stay on the floor when Steven Adams is on the floor, but Steven Adams has been hurt, so his minutes could go up a little bit. But Bam is the guy for the Heat. He has to protect the middle because of who they play at the 4, while Jaren Jackson Jr. has, a friend, a guy helping him out. It's a little like Giannis and Brook Lopez over the last few years. Yeah, Bam, he's kind of like the Embiid of the MVP when it comes to Defensive Player of the Year. He's kind of gets screwed when it comes to this award. Last year he was 4th. The year before that he was 4th. The year before that he was 5th. I don't know if he'll ever win it, but he might get 2nd. But I think he
might.
Like if you're picking one guy to be your defender in the paint, I think it's Bam because he'll stay on the floor.
Well, that's interesting. In the paint, I'm not picking Bam. And for the sole fact that Brook and Jaren Jackson Jr., they're just bigger dudes. Bam is not that big when it comes to a center position. He's 6'9", but that makes him incredible, like switchability, and he can actually play guys on the perimeter a little bit. Whereas those guys, Brook and Jaren Jackson Jr., you just like good luck shooting over them inside. Like Bam's numbers, like at the rim, they're not going to blow you away because I think a part of it is because he's 6'9", and maybe he's like a bit of a smarter defender in the sense he's not going to try and get in foul trouble, and maybe like Jaren Jackson Jr., he's going to try and block everything. But that gets in people's heads. Like that's how Rudy Gobert won a lot of these too. Like you can get guys when they go in there for their floaters and they're at the rim, they're second guessing. They're wondering where the hell that guy is, and that's a hell of a skill to have. But I love Bam, and I am not upset if people are like it should be Bam, it should finally be Bam. But I think Jaren Jackson Jr. is the front runner right now. TK, defense, you love it.
Also a steal per game for Jaren Jackson Jr. Like, the guy's active. He's stocking it up out there, but I don't know. You almost convinced me on Bam. He's got to play so many minutes because the Heat stink, man. He's the only big man they have, really. So he's got to hold it down. So he's got to play 34, 36 minutes a game, whereas Jaren Jackson Jr., there's like 4 good Grizzlies big guys, not to mention Santi Aldama, which the stream team is going crazy for right now. Oh, wow. He's tall. I guess Jaren Jackson Jr., he's got the stats for it.
Yeah.
And all these guys we're talking about are top defenses in the league.
Yeah, I mean, the Heat are 4th. The Grizzlies, like I said, are 1st. I think the Bucks are Are they top 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's somewhere.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, somebody dropped a
They're
second.
second right now. Bucks are
Okay.
second.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Grizz 1, Bucks 2, and the Heat right now are 4th, at least according to Basketball Reference. So yeah. Hey, look, I think one of these guys will win it, and that'll be a first-time winner. Because all 3 of them have never actually won the Defensive Player of the Year. So we got that going for us. But let's hear from you guys, those 3 awards. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, we'll do the other 3. What do we got? Sixth Man of the Year, Coach of the Year,
Ooh.
and Rookie of the Year. Don't go anywhere.
Give me a round of applause if you love cereal.
Yes.
All right, all my cereal heads, stand up. If you serialsly love cereal, then you gotta holler at Magic Spoon. Y'all know what the spoon is about at this point. They've replicated your favorite childhood cereals to taste good, but each serving contains at most a single gram of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and 4 to 5 net grams of carbs per serving. It's a keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, and soy-free way to get your cereal on. Plus, it's only 140 calories a serving. It's like there's magic in every spoonful. I wonder if that's how they got the name.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. With over 8 unique flavors, you won't get bored of feeling good with Magic Spoon. Cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, blueberry muffin, maple waffle, honey nut, cookies and cream, and cinnamon roll, and oh yeah, birthday cake is back! As a recent birthday haver, you know I love that they brought it back, and let me say that it's back. Head to magicspoon.com/nodunks today to grab a custom bundle of cereal and try the magic for yourself. Use our promo code NODUNKS at checkout to save $5 off your order, and don't forget, Magic Spoon is so confident in their product that it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. If you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Get your next bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/nodunks and use the code NODUNKS to save $5 off. Thank you, Magic Spoon, for sponsoring this classic.
Thank you indeed. All right, continuing to go through some NBA award frontrunners with just a quarter of the season left. We are up to the 6th Man of the Year. TK, you've got the ballot. Let's hear it. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. I'm going number 1. Big Braga Dogga. Malcolm Brogdon is getting my vote for 6th Man of the Year. Currently 14 points per game, 4 assists per game as well. Shooting 48% from the field, 46 from 3, 88 from the free throw line. And if I'm being honest, this was a little bit of a full bench nod, too.
Okay.
For Malcolm Brogdon as the captain of the Celtics bench. They're a pretty deep team. Everybody shows up to play anytime they get called on. And the vibes seem to be good for the Celtics, despite the fact that they have a very deep rotation. So, give me Brogdon barely over Norm Powell, who I think has been the most reliable Clipper this season. 16 points per game, just a couple assists because he wants to score first and foremost. He's 47, 41, and 80 shooting percentages. Very good as well. Bringing up the rear in my ballot. Number 3, Emmanuel Quickley is the man for me in number 3. 13 points per game, 3 assists per game. Percentages are okay. 44 from the field, 36 from 3, 82 at the line. But he brings the best defense off the bench of these candidates that were listed here. So I like what Quickley's done for the Knicks this season. I don't think it's a coincidence that they have turned the corner once he started playing more and joining their closing lineups. So that's my ballot. Brogdon, Powell, Quickley.
You've got it 1, 2, 3 according to the Vegas odds. Brogdon, the odds on favorite right now. Powell second, Quickley third, and then some love for a Tyrese Maxey there. But at a plus 1,600, it'd be quite the long shot. What do you think? You agree with that list?
Yeah, Brogdon is the best player off a bench. There's no doubt. I kind of miss the days of just going with the score. Norman Powell has been the best scorer off the bench this season. His numbers just off the bench, 17.5 points per game. The highest number in the league. The percentages off the bench, 49 and 43. But Broggy Doggy, of course he's going to be efficient. He was efficient as the 4th option with the Milwaukee Bucks before they let him go to Indiana, where his career is, kind of gone on a roller coaster. He was a 50, 40, 90 guy with the Bucks. Yeah. So now he's 49 and 46, 14.5 points. He's the better player. He's the guy you want running your second unit, and that's why they're so good. He just had a February where he shot 53% from deep. They're feeling it there for sure. And I think the Vegas odds has Broggy over Powell. Those will probably get even even more towards Brogdon because Powell's got so many guys coming off the bench with him now.
Yeah.
It hurts his case now that they've got Eric Gordon, they've got Bones Highland, they brought in a Westbrook. The statement you said that he's been their most reliable player on the Clippers is, yeah, regardless of starting or bench, it's totally true. He's there every stinking game, but I guess Broggy's the better player.
Those odds, the shifting odds on Powell, have even started to change at some of the books, where Quickly has actually passed him as the second favorite. But Brogdon, the odds on favorite, -200 at most places. And then a Powell or a Quickly, and Maxey again, like a long shot. Bobby Portis, an extreme long shot. The injury really took him out of the running here. I don't think he was ever going to win it either. It's always tough for a big guy too, off the bench.
And the Bucks went undefeated when he was out.
That's a good point.
They literally went 11-0.
He played really, really well.
Yeah, he had a chance early. I think the Maxey case is kind of interesting because right now he has more games that he's started than he's came off the bench because he started before he got hurt early in the year. Probably flips by the end of the season. He is averaging 20 a game, but it was 23 as a starter and 16 as a reserve, so not quite there. Malik Monk's another one about this guy that was on my list. 14 a game, 4 assists. I see the stream team saying he's their third best player. Maybe so.
On some nights, he absolutely
he's a clutch guy
is.
for them.
Yeah.
And then Christian Wood is high on the scoring list, as is Benedict Mathurin. So
Okay.
those are some guys.
Okay, let's go to Coach of the Year. Tass, who you got?
I am going to list a lot of men here.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
just-
You think this is one is fairly wide open?
You better believe it.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got a roster. They're going to come out one by one, get introduced at midcourt here, and we'll pick. Okay. Let me give you some cases here.
Okay.
Because quite often goes to the team that exceeded expectations. More precisely, their expected win totals. Let's get to those. The over/under win totals that people expected before the season. 23.5 was the over/under win total for the Utah Jazz. They're on pace for about 40 or 41 wins. That's a big increase.
Yeah.
Will Hardy has pushed the right buttons. Kind of depends how they close out the year, though, because even I, as a Jazz lover, think that they won't be around 500 just with all the changes that they've made. Some interesting candidates here. Denver, their number was 51.5 to start the year, so a pretty big number. Mm-hmm. They're on pace for 56 or 57, so a nice increase. A nice increase. Another Michael, there's Michael Malone. Michael Brown, as the odds have his name, Michael Brown, not Mike Brown. 34.5 was their expected over/under win total, the Sacramento Kings. They're on pace for 48 or 49. Another big increase. Michael Brown, not Mike. Joe Mazzulla, actually, surprisingly. Michael Malone and J.B. Bickerstaff are the 4 leaders in the odds department if you want to be a wild one and bet on Coach of the Year. So J.B. Bickerstaff, surprisingly, their number was pretty big to start the season. Expected win total, I should say. 48.5. They're on pace for about 49. So it's not likely to go to J.B. Bickerstaff.
No, I was a little shocking when you said he was one of the favorites.
Yeah,
he's a good coach, but I don't think he's going to win this.
No, it is.
I wouldn't bet on it.
It is surprising. They came out of the gate real strong. The expectations were just really high when they got Donovan Mitchell. So 48.5, I thought they'd be a 50-win team. They'll be around there. Anyway, Tom Thibodeau will get some votes. 3 more men. The Knicks are at 38.5 preseason, are now on pace for 47.
Okay.
Good for Tom. OKC, my man Mark. Preseason, Mark Digno's team was expected to win 23.5 games. They're on pace for 37. That's a big increase.
Yeah, you've listed like 3 or 4 that were like 15 to 20
Double
game
digits.
increases. Yeah.
Will Hardy, Michael Brown.
Stop calling him Michael Brown.
That's
please.
what the odds say.
Very confusing.
Why is it
William
confusing?
Hardy?
I was very confused because I thought you were literally going to say Michael Malone.
Listen to the second word. It's Brown.
Jesus.
And Mark Digno, 23.5 to 37. And Rick Carlisle, 23.5 expected preseason, on pace for 36. Full name, Richard?
Probably.
Anyway, that one's an interesting one. That win total, I think, was so low
Richard.
because people didn't expect Richard's team to have the caliber of player, past the trade deadline. They expected Miles Turner and Buddy Hield to be gone. So there's some noise in that number, although they also didn't expect both Ben Mathurin and Tyrese Halliburton to be this awesome. So, yeah, the leader in the clubhouse for me is Mike Brown. He's third.
Really?
He's third in the standings. That number is so great. Yeah, the expectations are just being met, surpassed. beamed right on through. Although the defense isn't great, and that's Mike Brown's thing. I mean, who do you want? Who do you want to give this award to? The most sharp dressed man. He should get some votes. I don't know who that is.
Spolstra?
Spolstra? Just knows how to wear.
You can't even say it anymore because no one's wearing suits.
Steve Clifford wears a suit sometimes, I think.
We're going deep.
Stephen Clifford.
Mike Brown, if you want to call him Michael Brown, go ahead. He's got the great narrative of course, coming in as a first-year coach to a franchise that has sucked for a decade and a half, and he's going to have them possibly having game one in their own arena to start the playoffs. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, we thought the defense might improve a little bit. That is his calling card, and it's not. But they're the number one offense in the league, and they had 2 All-Stars, and they got a guy in the 6th Man of the Year running, and they made some nice moves, obviously getting Herter in there and all that. Like, it's clicked, and from a narrative standpoint, that makes a lot of sense. Like, this team has sucked forever. He comes in and he turns them into a very respectable team. So I think he would be my vote.
Thank you for bringing up the narrative, because I've just dived a little too deep into the numbers, and it's good to come back to
you went
planet
too deep
Earth.
into their government first names is what happened.
Yeah. Listen, it threw me off at first too, Skeets, but once you get to know it, once you say it a few times,
Michael Burton Brown.
His middle name is Burton.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Michael Burton Brown. Beam me up. I'm in on Michael Burton Brown as well.
Yeah.
Though I would like to toss some love to Joseph Prunty.
Get out of here.
Undefeated. 2-0, right?
2-0. Best the Hawks have looked.
All right. And so what can I get your you have Brown 1, and then who is 2-3 right now? Is it Hardy? Is it
Hardy's
Missoula?
my 2.
Missoula's interesting.
Missoula is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, could have the best record in the entire league, and this guy was an interim.
I'm going Michael Malone, number 3. Michael, definitely not a Mike. Malone.
Yeah, he specifically doesn't like to be called Mike, right?
That's right.
All right. Final one, Rookie of the Year. Our final award here, it's Paolo. It has been since it felt like game 1. Mathurin had an incredible first month though, so maybe you were convincing yourself that he was the Rookie of the Year leader on that ladder that they do at NBA.com, but no. Banchero leads all rookies in scoring at 19.7 points per game. That's a decent amount for a rookie. Minutes played, 4th in rebounds, 3rd in assists. If you watch the Magic, they've been a good team since we hit the new year here. He does have that takeover ability, which is always fun. He can hit some clutch jumpers and has helped the Magic pick up some wins here. So I have him 1. He's winning this thing, rightfully so. I still have Mathurin at number 2. He's at a weird rookie year. He's the only other rookie with over 1,000 points. He started on fire through those first 20 games. He cratered in December. He was shooting under 40% over a 16-game sample there in December. Had a nice bounce-back month in January. He was back to averaging like 20 and 5. And then February, his minutes here and his points have dipped again. So that's a real rookie season right there, right? That roller coaster, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. I'll keep him in the 2nd slot. And for the 3rd slot, I'm going to give it to Jalen Williams, which is probably a little bit of a reach. One of my preseason predictions was that J-Dub would be an all-rookie 2nd-team selection. I felt great about it after seeing him play in the first couple weeks. I think he's going to be an all-rookie 1st-team selection, though. This guy is the most improved rookie. Let's make that a new award. His numbers and his impact have gotten better and better and gone up and up as the season's gone on. And I think he's a lot of people's, for the sickos out there that watch Thunder games, he's like a fan favorite. He looks like an ultimate glue guy already. So I'll put him in the 3rd slot as his numbers have gone up here. Since he became a full-time starter, he's like, 14, 5, and 3. And he impacts the game, which is really fun. Honorable mentions, though, to Walker Kessler, Jaden Ivey, and Jeremy Sohan, who had a good game last night, 22 and 13. He's just a fun watch, too. But we got a good rookie class here.
Murray.
Keegan Murray's another good one.
In the list. Yeah, he's been starting.
Yeah, it's another great
season.
one.
Yep.
And he was on fire, too, there for a stretch. I don't think he's going to win. Well, Paolo's going to win it. But, all-rookie 1st team. That'd actually be a little competitive. Maybe Jalen Williams does still slip to the 2nd team.
It's possible.
Yeah.
I'm not as high on Mathurin at this point in the season. And I would have Walker Kessler in my top 3.
Top 3?
He's been awesome the whole year.
So he'll be first team all-rookie. Paolo will. I think Ivy will, as a guard especially. Mathurin will be.
Yes, Mathurin will be.
Yeah. And that leaves one slot. That leaves a slot for Jalen Williams.
Keegan Murray. Yeah,
Keegan Murray, it's probably one of those two guys, yeah.
But a great year for guys who are drafted deep in the draft, because you look at the odds for Rookie of the Year. Third in the odds is Walker Kessler.
Right.
Drafted 22nd.
Yeah.
Fifth in the odds is Jalen Williams, drafted 12th.
Yep.
And Andrew Nembhard is 8th in the odds, drafted in the second round, 31.
There you go.
So, yeah, solid
Good
years.
class here.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to worst of the week.
Ladies and gentlemen, the worst of the week.
We've got 3 nominees, but let's just rip the Band-Aid off. Worst of the week, nominee number 1. It's Ja Morant, because Morant was involved in 2 incidents last summer that were revealed by the Washington Post as they revealed some police records that went uncovered until right now. So 2 incidents that happened last summer. The first incident, I'll just summarize them to you quickly. Ja Morant's mother was at a mall. She was upset with an employee at said mall, called Ja Morant. Morant showed up with 8 other people. Eventually, they got into it with the mall security director. One person who Ja Morant was with pushed this security director in the head. Ja Morant left and reportedly said something like, "I want to know when he gets off work." And the security director filed a report with the police because he felt threatened. Although after that, no arrests were made. Incident 1 complete. Incident 2, the more violent of the 2 incidents from last summer. Ja Morant was hosting a pickup game at his house like he has done in the past in Memphis. A 17-year-old high schooler, promising high school apparently, who had talent and was there to play, was going up against Ja Morant, and at some point things got heated. The 17-year-old threw the ball at Morant, reportedly, checked it very hard. It hit Morant in the face. So Morant went up to him and got extremely close to him, and according to reports, said, "Do I do it to him? Do I do it to him?" Eventually started punching him. According to reports, hit him like 12 or 13 times in the head, while his friend also joined in on it. Things were broken up. Ja reportedly went back into his house, came out with a gun under his waistband, and was holding said gun. Although, when the police asked him and the other 17-year-old about it, there was nothing revealed about said gun. There's definitely no concrete evidence there was a gun whatsoever. And no arrests were made in that instance at all. Although afterwards, even Ja Morant, a few weeks later, went back to the police to say that the 17-year-old said, "I'm going to shoot this place up." Right. And the Morants felt like they were threatened. At that point, there has been a civil suit where the 17-year-old is suing the Morant family, although the Morant lawyer representation is calling that a shakedown. So, no arrests made in either of those incidents. That's in addition to the incident we had during the basketball season in January where the Indiana Pacers were visiting the Memphis Grizzlies. If you remember that, one of Morant's friends was on the floor. He came out to argue with the referee. The referee eventually kicked him out of the game. And then after the game, the Pacers were in their bus. Ja Morant went to an SUV, if you remember that instance. And then there was some sort of laser pointed at the Pacers bus, and the NBA did an investigation to determine whether or not that was a gun, because people on the Pacers bus said that was a gun. Again, no conclusive evidence that there was a gun in that SUV, and that's it.
And the friend was suspended from coming to Grizzlies games, Ja Morant's friend.
Correct.
Because of the on-court incident, or maybe all of it.
Yeah. Yes, good point there. So, yes, there we go.
a troubling string of incidents, no doubt, from Ja Morant, or the people at least surrounding Ja Morant.
Yeah, exactly right. We have heard a lot of stories now of Ja Morant off the court. We'll clearly never get the full story from any of these, because it's always going to be one side telling their story, one side telling the other story. There have been a lot of NBA superstars in history who have had off-court issues. Charles Barkley was throwing people through bar windows back in the day, and he became a beloved elder statesman. Later in his life, Allen Iverson, his career started the same, off-court problems as well. Now an elder statesman of the league. you can turn it around. You know, we just don't need to hear these kind of stories time and time again from Ja Morant and the people that he's hanging out with. So he's still young. He's still young enough to learn, and hopefully that's the case.
Yeah, he just can't get himself involved in situations like this. Mom doesn't need to be at the finish line. I mean, she was literally at a mall at the finish line and got. If you remember that sporting goods store, it exists.
It's still going?
Oh yeah, it's at malls, but she doesn't need to be at a mall anymore, or she should be with the security guard. I mean, you just have to think things through.
Yeah,
that's all. Yeah. I heard.
I mean, he's the face of a franchise. He's basically the face of a league at this point. Being the talent that he is, he's one of the faces of Nike. Just
has to be smarter. I heard Gilbert Arenas, who had some issues in the past, talk about it with Josiah Johnson. It's literally just being smart about it, not getting involved in these situations at all, and having security guards or other people to deal with it, and for him to remove himself from these situations whatsoever. And security guard, not to say anybody's got to beat anybody up, but just to entirely not allow these situations to potentially happen. That's how you take care of business. And luckily, as we've said, there's been no arrests, nothing really concrete that Ja Morant has done other than a report from the 17-year-old that he was punched during this game. So at this point, Ja Morant still can easily rehabilitate the slightly tarnished image he has. I think if he just takes care of business. All right, next nominee, the Toronto Raptors. Excuse me. March is Women's History Month, a time to recognize women for their accomplishments and contributions throughout the history of the world. Instead, the Raptors posted a video with a few of their players sharing some, sarcasm alert, some extremely informative facts about women. I think we have the clip, JD.
Girls run the world because they're the only one that can procreate. They birth everybody. All women are great because they're all queens.
Yeah, so that was a quick clip. A few of their players basically saying women procreate and birth everybody, and we could do better than that.
It's so tone deaf. It screams like insincere, and it's just the ultimate. Why?
It's a big cell phone.
It is a big why are you posting this? And, they took it down, and after deservedly getting a lot of backlash to it, right?
Yes.
They've apologized since, and basically saying, that was dumb. We need to be better. We feel like we are a better franchise, and we slipped up here.
Yeah, it was March 1st. It's the beginning of Women's History Month. What happened was, I guess the whoever's in charge of social said, we got to put something out, and this is what they recorded probably preseason. That's all they got.
Usually when they do this stuff,
that's all they got. And really, the decision should have just been made. Nah, we're just not going to put anything out because you're not saying anything about women that a grade 1 doesn't know. That's women are a little bit more than that. Just a little bit more than that. We can talk about, again, contributions, accomplishments. That's what we should be talking about, if anything, and not just basic biology. So it's a little sad that happened. Easy as that.
Toronto will host Women's Empowerment Night on March 14th here, with the Nuggets coming to town. So maybe they'll make up for this dumb video that they shared, a 16-second clip that had everybody in our circle going, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
What is this? And why did they post this?
Why? That's exactly why. Why?
All right, moving on, as hopefully the Raptors do and get better this March. The third nominee, everyone on this ESPN NBA Today panel that you're about to hear, Malika Andrews asks them if the Lakers would beat the Nuggets in a first-round series. And you'll hear Tristan Thompson, Mark Spears, Ramona Shelburne, and Vince Carter. Everyone has the right to an opinion, but not when it's this wrong. JD, roll it.
Nuggets as the number 1 seed. So raise your hand if you all believe that the Lakers would get past the Nuggets in a 7-game series.
I'm raising my hand for myself and Perk and RJ.
Right?
I think they got to. I got
to beat them.
What?
Denver does not want to see the Lakers.
I'm like a 50-50 here.
I like Denver too.
That would be a tough series.
Come on, Vince.
I'm going to say yes.
Thank you, Vince.
God, everybody said yes.
Yeah, everybody said yes.
I feel like Vince got bullied into putting up
A
a say.
bit. I think the question may get misconstrued when you talk about potential playing team at a number one. I think the question is, that the number one seed is favored, so I think the question automatically gets changed in your brain. I think to the panelist's brain to be more of a, is this a threatening team to this number one squad? Which, of course, it's LeBron and Anthony Davis, so there's a threat, I suppose. That's why Vince was like, it's 50-50. Are they going to get through the Nuggets? Who is the favorite? And you could tell Malik Andrews as host at least believes the Denver Nuggets are the ultimate favorite. Well, they would win that series 99 out of 100 times. That's a lot, but a lot of the times. So just whether Spears and Shelburne and Carter and Tristan Thompson and RJ and Kendrick Perkins, as he said he was speaking for, who were not on set, actually believe they'll get through, or maybe it was just a threat. But come on.
Oh, here's the thing. That's just bad television. That's bad sports TV. Everybody shouldn't be agreeing. Everybody put their hand up. Everybody thought that the Lakers are a threat or could beat the Nuggets in a first-round series.
But
if
that's
they
what
even
they
get
think,
there.
Skeets.
Somebody's got to swerve. Somebody's got to go, are you insane?
They tried to get Zach Lowe on, but he was busy recording a podcast.
Oh,
couldn't make it.
true.
He's taking the Nuggets there.
Yeah. For sure.
But also, it did end up being very funny that this was the day we found out that LeBron was going to be missing a huge chunk of time. It was like that came out the same day that the LeBron announcement was made.
Yes, and LeBron's going to be reassessed in 3 weeks, is what they're saying with that foot.
I think they would say the same thing, though, because LeBron was going to be able to...
LeBron's getting rest.
Well, I guess the idea is they would get into the first round no matter what in this hypothetical.
Right.
So...
There's been some insane things said in the sports media circles recently. I heard on some other show that I think KD needs to be married. I think it was a take.
Get married.
I believe Rick Bucher was selling us on. There's another insane take that I'm drawing a blank on. Was it Perk? Perk said something. What did Perk say?
Didn't Perkins say that
MVP.
Jokic is stat padding?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that in a short coming to you pretty soon.
Oh, jeez. I'm excited. Okay.
So, yeah, that's unfortunate. It's stat padding. I guess he just wanted to defend Westbrook. Basically, he said, we had that energy for Westbrook. Why don't we have that same energy for Jokic?
Because
his former teammate,
right.
I suppose.
Right.
I don't know why I'm making an excuse for it. Jokic is just winning frickin' games. That's all he's doing.
I love thinking that KD needs to be married. I think that's my favorite take. He'd be a better player.
What was it? I'm not even gonna ask. I'm not gonna ask a follow-up.
Guys, like
see the
top
clip?
20 all time.
Did you see the clip?
Yes, of course I did.
Okay, I'm not reaching here. This is what his premise was.
Basically comes down to you learn to pick your battles when you're married.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, man. Jesus
I know when I got married, my mid-range got a lot better. I was on fire. As soon as I got this ring on the finger, I couldn't miss from 16 feet.
Interesting. It like guides it somehow.
Yeah, like it counterbalances me. I also saw, if we're talking insane things that happened, I saw Westbrook also wants to still win 6 Man of the Year.
Yeah.
That was an awesome quote.
I feel like you had an insane week for worst of the week.
This is a serious worst in the week.
Yeah. The odds are not great for Westbrook in 6 Man of the Year anymore.
No? Because he starts?
It's like, well, part of it.
Because he got released?
It's like plus
from 2
4,400,
teams?
I want to say. All right, well, who gets your worst of the week? Some solid nominees this week. John Morant, the Raptors, ESPN's NBA Today panel there with a wild take, and many more as we just slipped in there. Let's hear from you guys. Who gets the WOTW? We got to take one more break. When we come back, pick 'em results and rapid fire fun.
There are a lot of vodka seltzers out there. A lot. A whole aisle dedicated to them at stores. You walk in a store, seltzer aisle. I want them separated even further. Real ones and fake ones. Because the fake ones are the ones I do not want. And Nütrl would be in the real section. There's a huge difference between the real ones and the fake ones. You can taste it when it hits your lips. Nütrl is made with simple ingredients like vodka, seltzer, and real juice. Yeah, real ones. That's my aisle. And they have great flavors. Nütrl comes in 12 flavors. They got the fruits, pineapple, watermelon, raspberry, and mango. They got the lemonades, classic, peach, blackberry, and strawberry lemonade. And then they got the cranberries, which I know you like, Skeets. We got 4 cranberry flavors. Classic cran, grapefruit cran, apple cran, and orange cran.
That's a lot of cran.
That's a lot of cran. You're always hunting the cran around the Thanksgiving season, right?
Oh, yes. That and the raspberries.
Okay. Cran hunter.
Coming up on HGTV, Cran Hunter. A man just walks around the aisles trying to find cranberries.
Hey, it's hard to find here in the U.S. Yeah, that's why you're scrapping for it. Anyways, Nütrl's got you covered. Nütrl has a deliciously clean taste and light, refreshing flavor. It's the ultimate seltzer upgrade with real vodka and better taste. Have one during March Madness. Why the heck not? So good that you'll never want to drink another artificial tasting seltzer again. Check them out in the real aisle. You can hunt them there. Check them out on Instagram as well, at Nütrl. Find Nütrl in stores at your favorite bar or learn more at NütrlUSA.com. Try Nütrl, the one with the umlaut.
All right, back with the boys here in the Classic Factory. Pick'em results last night. It was that Clippers-Warriors game. LA, they were favored by 2.5 on the road. They straight up lost. I swear that happens all the time here when we get to our pick'ems. I had the Clips. Never again. Ever. I'm done with them. Tass had them too. Trey wisely took the Warriors. You guys are 1-1. I'm 0-2 here in March. There are a million games on this weekend. We're focusing on tonight, though, where there are a lot of games as well. Where are we going?
We're going to the top of the West.
All right.
Grizzlies visiting the Nuggets. Top 2 teams in the West. Could this be a Western Conference Finals preview? Perhaps. This is the third game between these two teams this year. They split the first 2, both games. The home team won by double digits. So, you could see why the Nuggets are favored by 4.5. At home, fairly juicy. Trey and I think they will cover that line. If the season series goes according to past, then they shall. While you, Skeets, think the Grizzlies will cover that 4.5 point line, huh?
I do. I think this game ends in a game winner tonight.
Okay.
Buzzer beater. Close one.
For
in
who?
Denver. In the altitude. For who?
Yeah.
Probably for the Nuggets. If I'm being
KCP.
honest. Sure. Good call. We got to our prediction. KCP, game winner tonight. Nuggets win by 2. You thought I was going to say 1. That's actually by 2. It's a 3 from the corner, left side. Jokic, the hockey assist to the play. Swung over by Jamal Murray. Bang.
Stat pattern.
Tic-tac-toe.
All right. That's Pick'em. Good luck to everybody. Let's end this podcast with some rapid fire fun. Trey's got the questions. We've got the answers, including JD. Take it away, TK.
During a blowout win against the Heat, Bucks guard Jrue Holiday was caught on the Jumbotron belting out the Backstreet Boys' I Want It That Way while the crowd sang karaoke. After the game, Jrue wasn't ashamed, saying, "It's a classic song." Fellers, which pop song makes you want to sing out loud, Skeets?
Well, let me just say, TK, you were working as a waitress in a cocktail bar when I met you. Yeah, give me that British synth pop. 1981's Don't You Want Me by the Human League. Come on. When you hear the chorus, Don't you want me, baby? It's tough not to sing. It's a classic karaoke song. So I went way back to 1981 and the Human League.
Great stuff.
Deep pull.
I say it a little more current.
Yeah.
I went with About Damn Time by Lizzo. It's about damn time.
That's catchy.
It's so catchy. I've listened to the version where the kids sing it. If you have kids, you know it. I've listened to that version so many times. I actually, looking this up, I thought it was called About That Time because they kidify the words. About that time. It's Bad Bitch O'Clock. Yeah, it's Thick 30. Oh, no.
That's not what they
It's
say.
Kids Bop O'Clock. Yeah, it's 6:30.
Everybody knows 6:30's Kids Bop O'Clock.
6:30.
I'm gonna need like 2 shots in my cup. No. I'm gonna need some more pop in my cup.
This is good.
Pop. Oh,
This is
Canadian.
funny.
I'm way too fine to be stressed. Same lyrics, yeah. I'm way too fine to be stressed,
Why are
actually.
kids yeah, I mean, you shouldn't
fine.
be stressed.
It's
Yeah.
fine. I'm just fine.
It's fine. I'm fine. I have to listen to that one a couple times. kids want to say I'm too fine. Well, what else? Who cares? That's fine. That's fine. I'm fine. Like they don't know that means that they look good. They're just fine.
Yeah, like, I'm doing fine right now.
I got a lot of pop in my cup.
It's 6:30,
Kids Bop o'clock is
good.
coming up. We're good. Life's okay.
I totally forgot
Tess
it's called.
drinks from his sippy Bucky's cup.
Yeah.
6:30 is such a
It's 6:30.
It's sip 30. It's
How much pop you got in there, bro?
Oh man, I got a couple pops in my pop. Yeah, it's thick 30.
All right.
JD, which pop song makes you want to sing out loud?
Yeah, back to 1999 for me. Unpretty by TLC.
Oh, wow.
You can wear all the makeup a man can make.
That's right.
Wait,
what did you
about
say?
that song in a long time.
Yeah,
you can buy you can buy all the makeup
the
Mac
makeup.
can make.
Oh, Mac.
Mac.
Yeah,
Oh,
Mac.
not a.
The company.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
I thought it was a man. I was like, we're not gonna let that man keep us down making our music or making our makeup.
Oh, I totally
Mac.
believed you when you. I totally thought you were right when you said that. Damn.
Nice.
You like that song, AJ?
I love that song, man.
Guess so.
It's like everything stops when that song comes on. I gotta like pull over, sing along.
All right.
Good
I
answer.
want it that way. Also a banger for me.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
Much
just a
singing.
no-brainer.
Yeah.
Number one for me right now, Levitating. Dua Lipa. Ooh, banger.
Hot.
That's good.
Kids Bop also sings that. So you want in on that?
Band, yeah, but you don't allow Kids Bop in your house, do you?
Nah, I've never turned on a kid's pop.
No judgment here, but also total
Yeah,
judgment.
you can.
I thought we were all going to the Kids Bop concert.
Nope, you're wrong.
I wouldn't do that.
Let's keep talking about kid stuff here. The Pokemon Company is releasing a new mobile game, Pokemon Sleep, a game that you play by sleeping. For real. Depending,
This is so weird.
depending how you snooze, you'll attract different kinds of creatures. Snorlax, anyone? Oh, the Snorlax. Skeets, what other normal body function should be turned into a game?
Well, I promise that I had this answer before that crazy cold open, but I feel like there should be a game called Farts and Larfs,
Okay.
and it's like some sort of app that after a fart is shared with the world, and then the laughter that it generates is somehow like a points-based system. That's all I got. That's all I got. I'm still working on it, but Farts and Larfs feels like a fun name for an app, and farts are always funny. As we saw with that cold open,
Can't deny it.
I was losing it there for a little bit.
Yeah, you reined it in quick.
It went long enough that I could compose myself and get ready to sell you
Show's
some
coming.
Nütrl.
The one with the umlaut.
That's right. That's right.
Taz.
Should we put an umlaut on No Dunks? I saw
Yeah.
Jerome asked that.
Yeah, you got to do Option U on your Mac keyboard.
I love
followed by
doing
an
that.
O or a U.
All right.
If you're interested, umlaut heads out there.
Yeah, it's already up. They made Jerome and Will made
Will,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean they already made it?
It's done.
They threw the umlaut on
On
there.
what? Where?
Well, they made
I
a
believe it's in the
thumbnail.
general. It's in the.
Oh,
I can put it in the actual on the podcast.
You didn't
Well,
maybe didn't
I
notice
mean-
because it's so subtle.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we
It's
go.
incredible. I
The old
didn't.
show
I
of
did not
the
see
screen.
this.
It's a double
The old
umlaut.
show of the screen here.
Interesting move to go double
We got to
umlaut.
see this. Yeah, one on the O
right, hold it
and
up.
one on the U, as you can see here.
All right.
Taking you behind the scenes of our Slack.
I didn't know this happened.
Slack on the
But
back.
this is. You said
What's
this
good,
is
huh?
officially on our.
No, it's not. It's not yet.
Oh, they don't pay us for that.
Well, I don't care. Let's put it up. It's funny.
It
It's
is
funny, so let's put it up.
I believe that's
Yeah, it's
pronounced Funy.
Farts are funny. You can't deny it.
Dunks. Yes. They are.
Yes, they are. You can't deny it. It's simple as that. Let me add on to your game.
Absolutely.
That's the
Cannot
game.
deny
That's
it.
the app. You try and find somebody to deny it, you're like, no.
Yeah, that's good.
No, this says it's funny, actually.
Yeah, I don't know about the larfing thing. I think you could make different characters from different fart sounds, essentially. Like a different fart sound would result in a different character. I don't know. There's something there. I mean, I'm not a game designer.
You
Like,
become a mage
yeah.
versus a warrior
Well, yeah.
From farts.
from farts.
Yes, from farts. When you hear, well, it's an audio cue. You hear it, and you become something different. Anyways, There's something there.
I thought my idea was stupid, but you somehow made it 10 times
Well,
stupider.
no, yours isn't gonna work.
What are you talking about?
Yours isn't gonna
You
work.
fart, he laughs,
This one's gonna
I get
work.
points.
He's racking them up right now. You're both laughing. JD,
I win.
JD, what fart game are you gonna make?
Well, okay, yeah, let's go with farts. I mean, I knew I was going third, so I'm like, there's no way farts is going to be still on the board.
Absolutely.
But yeah, well, okay, my fart game it's called Stealth Bomb. And it detects you farting around other people, and if you get away with it, you get points, right? So
nice,
you're
actually.
dropping, bombs here and there and everywhere.
Sneaking them in. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it can detect the smell as well. So the worse it is, the silent and worse the toxicity is, the more points you get.
It's all points.
It's just points
all
based. It's a
fart-based
points-based system.
That's what games are.
Or maybe there's like in the realm of Pokemon, you have to capture the fart somehow, right?
Sure.
It's released, and then you gotta catch it with your
In a
phone.
jar, yeah.
You can.
That's
It
good.
detects it.
That's
You know how
good,
you see those infrared those videos, and it's like fart, and then you just gotta catch it before it dissipates.
Puimon.
There's something here. We got some Pokemon.
Let's capture the flag.
How about this fart game? What about this fart game?
Yeah.
This one almost started backstage at our live show. Skeets was trying to get in a 360 jump fart.
Yeah.
Mistimed it, but I nailed one.
You did.
For the first time ever. So the game is farts, F-A-R-T-S, and you play it like horse. You gotta match the fart.
I
Remember,
like
you get
it.
a letter.
I like it a lot.
Too.
That's enough. I love it.
These are just some free ideas for any coders out there.
Yeah. Get to work.
On March 6th, KFC is bringing back the Double Down. It's been 9 years since the sandwich made of 2 pieces of chicken, 2 pieces of bacon, and some sauce has been on the menu. So if you're like me and you missed it the first time around, now's your chance. Skeets, what's a reboot you never knew you needed?
Mad Max Fury Road.
It was good.
It was good.
It was
now
good.
it's an old movie at this point. It's like nearly 10 years old. I'm
Yeah.
getting close to it. But the original with Mel Gibson, like that was like 30 years prior to that.
Yeah.
Which I remember I had seen like in my teens, but I definitely had not watched since. Anyway, Mad Max Fury Road is an incredible movie.
Really good.
And so way to reboot it. It's one of the flawless reboots, I would say. And I know
100%
JD
agree.
agrees. Yes.
And you got a prequel coming.
Right. Very excited.
Furiosa. Looking forward to that.
When's that drop?
I have no idea.
Okay,
No clue. It's coming though.
good.
Something that needs rebooted. I stuck in the food department because I loved the Italian bread at Little Caesars. Doesn't exist anymore. It was an incredible snack. Not huge. It was made in a square pan, so it's a square bread pie thing that comes out. Sort of deep dish. It's like serving of 1 or 2. It's like 9 inches, I'd say. On either side, because it is a square, and it had like
9 by 9.
it was this deep dish. Like, it was like Detroit style pizza,
Right.
But the same sort of sauce, cheese as every other Little Caesars, but just the crust. The crust when you bought into it, when you bit into the
Bought it and
crust,
brought it.
you bought it, you bit into that crust. Ugh, it was fantastic. It
Why
was
did they
so
stop
good.
making it?
It's just sauce, cheese, and Italian seasoning. I mean, they probably just didn't sell enough, I guess. I mean, it's like the other pies, but it's just a different texture. It was so good.
So it just was no sauce on it,
There was sauce. There's sauce, cheese, and seasoning.
So it
is
really
really
was
simple.
like a pizza.
Yeah, sounds like a pizza.
It sounds like a
is right
pizza,
to bring
but
it
it was a square, JD, and it was a deep dish.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know it was a
That was a
square.
square. 9 by
Pardon
9.
me.
It's not by-
Yeah, it was a square. That changes the taste. No, what changed the taste is the deep dishness of it all.
The texture.
Yeah, the crunch. You know how you get some of the like that
it. Oh,
black,
yeah.
the-
Caramelized crust.
Yeah, and the cheese. You know, you get some of that crusty cheese on the ends, like that.
So
that
you would
black-
order Little Caesars.
I worked there, so I made it.
Handcrafted.
What were you doing there?
Making food. What do you do?
Like specifically, I didn't know. I was like,
It's what everybody does at Little Caesar. I also delivered pies when that was a thing.
same thing. Oh wow, same delivery method as making it.
Yeah, it was a good time. Good time.
All right,
Nice.
JD.
I also stayed with food. I think because I thought we had to for some reason. I don't know. Cauliflower is having a huge moment right now. You get deep fried cauliflower. It's cauliflower pizza.
Yeah.
Fucking hate cauliflower. But you used to. This is when, I don't know, 90s? Mid-90s. Zucchini sticks. All the rage. Deep fried zucchini sticks. Bring them back.
Yeah.
Bring them back. Get the cauliflower out of here. But
Zucchini's
zucchini,
better.
I'm totally fine with.
Oh, okay.
Tess, can you make a zucchini crust for
Yeah.
a pizza? You must be able to, right?
Just like cauliflower.
Exactly.
Both tasteless.
Yeah.
Exactly. But cauliflower, I don't know, man. Smells like farts.
Collect it.
Yeah. It's points. Ooh, you could trick the algorithms, trick the game.
People are gaming a rap.
Oh, man, if you work in like a pizza shop, you are dominating farts and larps right now.
Oh, totally.
Because it's smelling the pizza and thinks it's a fart.
That's right.
Right. Broke the system.
Yep. Crack the code.
Not broke it. Beat the system.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. All right, that is rapid fire, and that is an insane ending to this Drop podcast. Though I wanted to end on a serious note, guys. Our good friend Jade Hoy, who is an NBA podcast producer, showrunner at The Athletic, on the night before Thanksgiving, he got into a very serious car accident, and the crash left him with some brain injuries, which he is trying and recovering from slowly. As a result, though, he is unable to fully care for his 3 children and is in need of extensive care himself. So his friend Ben has set up a GoFundMe for Jade and his family to try and help with the financial burden of these medical bills and just helping them out. So if you have the means and you'd like to help Jade and his family out, we have included that GoFundMe link in the show notes. It's right there in the YouTube show notes. We'll include it in the podcast show notes. And, thank you in advance if you can. Any little donation helps to Jaden. We're wishing him and his family the best in his recovery. A very scary car accident there back in Thanksgiving.
Absolutely thinking about Jade and his family since it occurred, and hopefully if you do want to contribute, the link in the chat as well, so jump on in.
And I'm telling you, if you are listening to this podcast, odds are high that you've listened to a Jade Hoy podcast. That's for sure. He's been in the game for a long, long time, doing a great job producing podcasts, NBA podcasts. So yeah, thinking of you, Jade, and the best to you and your family right now. And thanks everybody that can help. We'll call it there though. Boys, we'll be back on Monday with some winners and losers of the NBA weekend. Everybody stay safe. Until then, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Race the day, people.